Something terrible happens to you immediately, you get promoted. In this company, promotion is not a reward, it is how they remove you. And the scariest part? Everybody is still working hard to get it. If you have ever worked in Nigeria, then you already understand something very important. Promotion is sweet. Salary increase? Sweet. Respect in the office? Sweeter. Suddenly, people who used to ignore you are now saying, "Good morning, ma," with extra humility, carrying your bag, laughing at jokes that are not funny. Sweet past sugar. But in this company, promotion is not something you celebrate. It is something you survive. Ada did not know any of this when she got the job. The day she received the email, she screamed so loudly, her neighbor knocked on her door almost immediately. "Ada, are you okay?" Ada opened the door with tears in her eyes and phone in her hand. "I got the job. The one in Abuja, the oil company? Yes, not just any job. A major oil company in Abuja. The kind of place your relatives mention proudly in family meetings, as if they helped build the company themselves. The kind of job that changes how people speak to you overnight." The building itself looked intimidating. Tall glass walls, a spotless compound, tight security. Even the reception smelled expensive. Everything about the place screamed money, order, and power. The first month was perfect. Constant electricity, fast internet, cold AC, good food in the cafeteria. People were polite. Everything worked. Ada kept calling her mother every evening to talk about how different the place felt. It didn't even feel like a Nigerian office, but slowly, she started noticing things. Not obvious things, just small, uncomfortable details. People were too ambitious, too careful. Nobody relaxed. Nobody gossiped freely. Nobody talked about their children, their spouses, their family problems. Even laughter felt controlled, like it had a time slot. And then there was the one thing everybody wanted, the executive floor. Nobody had seen it. Nobody had been there and returned. But everybody believed in it. It was the top floor of the building. You could see it from outside, but the elevator only went to floor 8. There was no button for 9. Still, people whispered about it like it was paradise. They say once you reach there, your life changes completely. They say the money is unbelievable. They say you don't even stress again. One afternoon during lunch, a colleague leaned toward Ada and said quietly, "Have you ever seen anybody go there and come back down?" Ada laughed at first, then she thought about it. She had not. The first person she saw get promoted was Blessing. Blessing was the kind of worker managers love. Always early, always serious. Never caught wasting time. She had been in the company 6 years. One Monday morning, during a staff meeting, the manager smiled and announced, "Congratulations, Blessing, you've been selected for the executive floor." The office erupted. People clapped. Someone brought out cake. Blessing cried as everyone hugged her and wished her well. That was the last time anybody saw her. By the next morning, her desk was empty. Not untidy, not half cleared. Just empty, as though she had never worked there at all. Ada asked where she was. "Executive floor," someone replied. Like that was enough. 2 weeks later, a man from finance got promoted. Same celebration, same excitement, same disappearance. This time, Ada paid attention. She noticed that before each promotion, the person would start changing. They became quieter, tense, withdrawn, like they knew something was coming and were afraid to talk about it. One man from IT, Emeka, was overheard begging his mother not to come to the office. He sounded terrified. The next day, he was promoted. Gone. Ada stopped sleeping properly. She began searching names online. Blessing's social media was gone. LinkedIn deleted. Instagram gone. Facebook gone. Completely erased. Then Ada found something worse. A short online article about a missing woman who had worked at the same company. According to the report, the woman told her husband she had received a promotion. After that, she vanished. The company told the family she had been transferred abroad. No proof, no follow-up, no explanation. That was when Ada knew this was no longer office gossip. She tried asking questions. She approached Tunde, the kind of long-time employee who always knows more than he says. He didn't answer directly. He only told her, "In this company, curiosity is not rewarded." She called HR. The woman on the phone shut her down immediately. "You don't need to understand the process. Focus on your current role." Then Ada noticed two strange men in dark suits coming in and out of the manager's office. No ID cards, no introductions, no smiles. They moved through the building like they belonged there more than the staff did. After they visited, another promotion happened. That was when fear truly settled into her chest. One evening, Ada slipped 5,000 to an older security guard named Friday and asked him the question directly. He looked at her for a long moment before answering, "Madam, people don't go to that floor. They are taken there." Ada felt cold all over. He told her he had worked there for 12 years and had watched many people celebrate their promotion. He had watched them enter that elevator smiling. None of them had ever come back down. The next morning, Ada's manager called her into his office. He smiled and slid a folder across the desk. "Congratulations. You have been selected for promotion to the executive floor." Ada felt like the floor had opened beneath her. Still, she smiled and said, "Thank you, sir." Because sometimes fear is so deep, all you can do is behave normally. Outside, people congratulated her. Some laughed, some hugged her. But none of them looked her in the eye. Then Tunde pulled her into a storage room. This time he was no longer pretending. His face was full of fear. "If you value your life," he whispered, "find out what is on that floor before tomorrow. And if you discover something, run. Don't go home first. Don't wait. Just run." That night, Ada returned to the office. The compound was quiet. The building looked dead. Friday was on duty, and when he saw her, he looked away and said nothing. Ada made her way to the 8th floor and found the door marked "Maintenance Access." She forced it open. Behind it was not a maintenance room. It was a private elevator. Inside, there were almost no buttons, just one strange hidden switch. When she pressed it, the doors closed and the elevator began to rise. The 9th floor was beautiful, too beautiful. Marble floors, golden lights, perfect silence. Air that smelled clean in a way that felt unnatural, almost clinical. Ada walked carefully through the corridor until she heard voices. Soft, flat, repetitive. She followed the sound and pushed open a door. Inside were rows of workers sitting at computers. Blessing, Emeka, Chuka, others she recognized, all of them typing, clicking, smiling faintly, but their eyes were empty. Ada's heart nearly stopped. "Blessing," she whispered. Blessing turned toward her slowly. "Ada, you came." The face was familiar. The voice was familiar. But whatever made Blessing herself was missing. "What is this place?" Ada asked, shaking. Blessing answered in a flat voice. "It's wonderful here. No stress. No problems. Just work. Just excellence." Then Ada heard a voice behind her. "Welcome to the executive floor." She turned and saw her manager. Only now, he no longer looked like an ordinary office manager. His calmness felt inhuman. "What did you do to them?" Ada asked. He smiled. "We removed distractions." Distractions? Family, emotions, doubt, fear. All the things that stop people from reaching peak productivity. Ada stared at him in horror. "You took their lives." "No," he said. "We improved them." He gestured toward the workers like he was showing off a successful project. No family calling with problems. No children. No emotional weakness. No divided attention. Just purpose. He stepped closer. "And tomorrow, you will be improved too." Ada ran. She turned and sprinted through the corridor, her heels slipping on the polished floor. Behind her, she could hear footsteps coming after her, steady and controlled. She reached the elevator and threw herself inside. She hit the button frantically. The doors began closing just as a hand reached toward her. Then the elevator dropped. Fast. When the doors opened on the ground floor, Ada ran through the lobby, through the entrance, through the gate, and into the Abuja night. She didn't stop until she got a taxi, and she did not go home. She went straight to the police station. At first, the officers looked at her the way Nigerian police often look at someone with a story that sounds impossible. But Ada insisted. She told them everything, the promotions, the disappearances, the hidden elevator, the empty workers, the manager's words. One officer, Inspector Musa, listened carefully. Then he started making calls. Within hours, a team was assembled. Ada went back with them. She showed them the hidden elevator. She showed them the 9th floor. This time, the main room was empty, but they kept searching. Behind locked doors, they found sleeping quarters, a dining area, a medical room, and files, hundreds of files. Each one contained employee records, drug schedules, psychological notes, and chilling statements about removing distractions and preparing subjects for integration. Then they found the workers, 53 of them, not on the 9th floor, but hidden elsewhere in the building. They were alive but barely present, sitting quietly in rows, wearing plain clothes, their expressions blank. When Ada called Blessing's name, Blessing looked at her and said, "Hello, Ada. I hope you are having a productive day." Ada burst into tears. The arrest started before dawn. The manager was found in his office, calm as ever. He surrendered without resistance. Other executives, the strange men in suits, the HR officer, and medical staff involved in the operation were all arrested. Doctors later confirmed that the workers had been drugged over time. Their emotions and independent thinking had been heavily suppressed. Many were malnourished, dehydrated, and mentally altered. The story exploded across the country. News outlets called it a secret labor camp disguised as a promotion scheme. The company was shut down. Executives were charged. The building was seized. The trial lasted months. Witnesses described how staff were lured with promotions, isolated, drugged, and turned into obedient workers with no will of their own. Ada testified. So did some of the survivors. The verdict was devastating for the company. Major prison sentences, massive fines. The company's license revoked. Recovery for the survivors was slow. Blessing began returning to herself piece by piece. In the hospital, days after the rescue, she finally looked at Ada and whispered, "I want to go home." Ada held her hand and cried. Later, Ada resigned completely. She found another job eventually. Smaller company, smaller salary, but normal people, human people. Colleagues who laughed too loudly, complained about their relatives, took family calls during office hours, and left early when life demanded it. Ada loved that place, because after what she had seen, ordinary human imperfection felt like luxury. But even now, sometimes at night, she still remembers the executive floor, the golden lights, the perfect silence, Blessing's empty eyes, and her manager's voice saying, "We removed distractions. That company is gone now, but the idea behind it is not. The idea that workers should sacrifice everything for productivity. That family, joy, rest, and freedom are obstacles. That your only value is your output. That idea is still alive in many workplaces, and that is why Ada tells her story. Don't let them take your distractions," she says. Your family is not a distraction. Your happiness is not a distraction. Your life is not a distraction. Any job that asks you to give up those things is not a job. It is a prison.